I feel like going through the entire lineup of Mortal Kombat again, and this time I want to look at special moves. What makes a character good or bad is often tied to what attacks they can do and what they offer a character. Now recently I made a video on what I think is the worst move in every Mortal Kombat, but today let's look at what is, in my opinion, the most broken move in every Mortal Kombat. Now keep in mind, it's likely that these moves will belong to the characters I've already stated as being the best character in their respective game, because these moves are often a pretty big reason that they're so good in the first place, but sometimes it might be other characters that are up there, but still not the strongest overall. Today's video is a chance to really look at these moves and specify why they are so unbelievably broken. The first entry on our list for the very first Mortal Kombat game is easily the easiest entry in the whole video. Now I've talked about this move 1,000 times to the point where I'm kind of sick of it, but it is what it is, and you know what it is. It's Sonya's leg grab. This leg grab is the key component that makes Sonya #1, because it's fast, it's massive, and due to the game's bug, where an opponent cannot block for a few frames while standing up if they get counter hit, this move is a true infinite against another player. One leg grab in the right spot can win you the entire round, regardless of execution. That is ridiculous, broken by pure definition, and is the best move in the first ever Mortal Kombat game. It's certainly not going to be the last time I talk about this, but when it's broken and Mortal Kombat original, it has to be leg grab every single time. So, in Mortal Kombat 2, you actually have the possibility for a couple of moves. The Jax Ground Pound was certainly a contender here, but truly, it has to be Mileena's Side Toss. Here's why. Side Toss is an incredible projectile in a game where slow play is often the best way to approach high-level matches. This move has pretty much no input. You hold the high punch button down for a couple of seconds and then release. This is especially good when performing instant airs, as the often tricky input of jumping and doing a special is non-existent here. You jump, release, and boom, a low to the ground instant air Sai comes out, which is probably the best zoning tool in the entire game. Now, Jax Ground Pound was a contender for a similar reason, because it too is a held input, but the Sai creates such an unbelievable obstacle that works with the rest of her kit that it has to make her the #1 character in MK2, with the ease of use, the strength it provides, and the meta it creates. This move is the most busted. Vanilla Mortal Kombat 3 had the original debut of Sub-Zero's Ice Clone, and this move was out of control in its first ever version. It allowed for true 100% combos due to the various freezes that Sub-Zero could get. The fact that a single Ice Clone can result in a full life combo is the only reason you need for this move to be broken in this version of the game. It's mostly due to the properties of Clone here. There are just way less restrictions for Sub-Zero across the board that allowed all of this to be as overwhelming as it was at the time. Now, the Clone would receive changes in Ultimate MK3, but here, this was a clear-cut reason that Sub-Zero was #1 in the game. In Ultimate Mortal Kombat 3, the one move that stands out as being utterly broken was Kabal's Gas Blast, more notably the Instant Air version. Kabal was the #1 character to pretty much everybody, and one of the main reasons this was the case is just how much the Instant Air Gas Blast changes the game and makes his matchups as rough as they are versus most of the cast. This projectile is large, it can be done super low to the ground, and it results in zoning that so many characters straight up struggle to close in distance against, and it doesn't help matters that Kabal moves back a significant amount while doing it. So overall, you can't chase him, he's constantly moving away from you, and some characters can do next to nothing at all to close in the space. This is a very broken move for sure. Mortal Kombat Trilogy is by far one of the easiest games on the list to state the most broken move. It has Noob Saibot, and if you know classic Mortal Kombat, you already know where I'm going with this. The Ghost Ball projectile that Noob Saibot has is extremely fast, and when it connects, prevents the opponent from landing any hits, and it also prevents them from blocking. It is ludicrous. One hit from this projectile and it's likely you've lost the round, as Noob Saibot has easy infinite combos that you now cannot escape in any way because the Ghost Ball has just hit you randomly. This move is probably the most busted projectile of any Mortal Kombat. And there's a lot of amazing projectiles in the series, but this one is just so insane on every level. It is busted beyond belief, and is one of the main reasons that Noob Saibot is banned in competitive Trilogy. Mortal Kombat 4 is actually an interesting one, because the game is actually pretty tame compared to some of the other early appearances. I've said it so many times that it is the special moves that separate characters in this game, and finding a move that's absolutely broken can actually be quite challenging. Sub-Ice Clone is a really good move. Reiko's Flip Kick, it leads to fantastic damage combos, but a lot of these moves don't scream broken. However, Tanya's Drill Kick is the ultimate special move in a game like this, and it does everything. It can punish things that some characters cannot punish. It combos no matter what. It anti-airs, it air-to-airs. It can easily be turned into max damage on a character that is already number 1, as Tanya is the best character in the game. Tanya's drill here is the ultimate combo tool, and in any situation, this drill is usable, and it can turn the match in your favor. Some of you might disagree here, but I really do think that her drill attack is the most broken move in MK4. But when it comes to Mortal Kombat Gold, I'm actually going to switch things up a little bit. You probably think I'm going to talk about a sector move, maybe the double missiles, or the homing missile even. But there is a move I think is even more broken than that, and that is Melina's Bull Roll. You see, Bull Roll is Tanya's drill taken to a whole new level. All of the reasons I've just said Tanya drill is messed up is even more extreme for the Bull Roll. Bull Roll is faster, goes a bit further, and unlike Tanya drill, which requires a standard combo to turn into max damage, the Bull Roll can become max damage on its own. Almost zero execution required. Straight up, you just do Bull Roll over and over again and you get max damage. It is insane! Now, as I've said, the Bull Roll is Tanya drill, but even worse to fight. And a single Bull Roll leads into more Bull Roll into guaranteed max damage combos. And should Melina have the right weapon equipped, it can even break max damage to get 2 combos for the price of 1. This one special is absolutely ridiculous and is, funnily enough, a great counter projectile tool, which makes it pretty decent against Sector. Deadly Alliance is the start of our 3D journey, and unfortunately we have to talk about Bo Raicho. I really wish I didn't have to, because the most broken move in this game is the puddle. This unblockable puddle functions similar to a Sub-Zero ground freeze, but it's pretty big, it's fast, and it actually has an infinite in Deadly Alliance. Now, Bo Raicho can do a very easy combo that launches the enemy, and you can meaty with the puddle to guarantee an unblockable stun as they stand up. You can't get out of it, and Deadly Alliance has no combo breakers. One hit, and this disgusting puddle means that you've lost the round. It's gross, it's broken, it's something I hope never to talk about again, but I'm sure I'm going to have to at some point. It's just so disgusting, I hate it. Deception is another easy entry here because the move belongs to the number 1 character and someone you've seen me mention a few times recently. It's Dairu and his Tombstone drop. A 3-frame unblockable launching ground pound in a game where jumping isn't very effective and it leaves you open for punishment. The movement in 3D Mortal Kombat isn't exactly the cleanest, so this launching unblockable coming out at a moment's notice totally ruins the flow of any match that Dairu appears in. I've said so many things about this move, and like Sonya's leg grab, I'm kind of sick of mentioning it, but it is unavoidable here. Kind of like that stupid Tombstone drop, really. So here we are. It was nerfed in other versions of Deception, but I really want to focus on the original versions here, so it remains in the list for obvious reasons. You can't get around it, it's hard to dodge, you have to preemptively move to beat it, and a patient Dairu player will win on that alone. Armageddon is full of ridiculous moves, but one move I strongly consider to be the most broken is Serena's knife toss. It is the best projectile in the game, without question. But that isn't even why it's broken. It's fast as hell, it has no cooldown. She can absolutely spam the hell out of this move, and it is true zoning in a 3D game. But that's only the first layer. This move will also juggle an opponent who's been launched. You can combo knives together to keep the launch going and get a massive combo for it. Not only that, but Serena can throw a knife and throw you from full screen. Now, this isn't the only projectile that can actually do this, but this move is definitely the best at it. And finally, the knives are unbreakable and they can ring out. One launch near a ring out zone, and you're going off the stage. There's no two ways around it. It is broken, utterly broken, but hey, that's Armageddon for you. The Flash in Mortal Kombat vs. DC has the most broken special move for sure. The dash attack that he has is literally one of the fastest moves in all of Mortal Kombat. I can't remember the frame data fully, but it is legit like a split second. You cannot whiff a single move against him because you're eating a full combo for it. The damage of a full combo is strong enough to make this move ridiculous, but it also leads to an infinite combo. Another thing I've actually talked about a lot on this channel recently. It's just the way it's been, but it's important to mention it in this video too. The Flash could perform a specific combo after his dash and loop multiple unavoidable combos to create a 100% damage situation. You cannot build meter to break most of the time, and as I've said before, this is actually one of the reasons that the Flash was almost banned from competitive MK vs DC, if the game were around long enough for this to perhaps flourish, that is. Mortal Kombat 9 presented some tough contenders. Cabal's Nomad Dash maybe, perhaps Kenchi's Shoulder Push. There's some really broken utility in this game, but for me, one special move reigns supreme, and that is the Cyrax Bomb. The Cyrax Bomb is an unblockable, right? And that's the only reason this character had inescapable reset combos for true 100% damage. The reset combos made you have to watch your meter usage against him. One bad combo breaker versus Cyrax leaves you open to lose the whole game on the next touch. But even outside of these death combos, the bomb was out of control. The fact it's an unblockable projectile with various ranges and the ability to fire quite a lot of them meant that he dominated the neutral and he forced unfavorable movement from the opponent. One bad jump and it's anti-air into huge damage. One bad jump and a net can hit you randomly. Hell, even a bomb on the ground into a string that he just so happens to land on block jails you into bomb for a free combo. This move is the most broken move in the game in my opinion. It's really messed up, but also the bomb has not been unblockable since. I'm not going to count NPC Cyrax and MK11, that one doesn't count. Like Mortal Kombat 9, MKX had some contenders, but finding a most broken move is actually a bit of a challenge because which one is truly the number one here? In various versions of the game, there's been moves easier to say that is broken. I mean, Quan Chi's final hex in the early days of MKX was the most broken move because of the 100% rune trap setups, but final days? I don't think it's that easy. The one I've settled on here is Crystalline Tremor's Flex. This move is an absolute rule breaker, and it fits into what makes a move broken by definition, in my opinion. The Flex is a free-to-activate state that means that when a hit has been landed, Tremor takes a set hit animation, and it's different from everything else in the game. Now, what this means is, Tremor can do whatever he likes, and if he gets hit, who cares? Because this set animation ain't punishable. You perform Flex, you go nuts, regardless of risk, and if the risk doesn't go your way, you get this unique hit, and it means absolutely nothing. The idea of performing high reward but unsafe moves being replaced by a special move that invalidates that risk is just absolutely insane. not even mentioning the fact that if you spend meter on this flex, the hit you take deals 0 damage. I gotta tell you, there's a reason that when Crystalline was confirmed as an MK1 cameo, the competitive scene at the time got very, very nervous. Mortal Kombat 11. This one was a divided discussion between Mustard and myself. We actually couldn't agree on which move was more broken here, and it was Fujin's Skywalk versus Jackie's Plasma Cannon. Now, I have decided to list Jackie Briggs because I personally think that this is the #1 most broken special. The Plasma ability for me is the biggest rule breaker of the game. This move not only works perfectly with everything that her ammo type is altered by, but the fact is, Plasma bypasses mechanics in the game designed to keep a player alive and around. I'm talking last breath. Plasma on the floor ignores that mechanic 100%, and there are so many ways for her to put this on the ground to make an absolute checkmate situation that only a select few moves are actually able to do, whereas the Plasma takes almost no setup and it's faster than all of the other moves that can do that. Not even factoring in that the Plasma has a great hitbox on it and it can be amplified to make even harder to avoid. This one move created so many situations where a player simply cannot win without Fatal Blow to remove it from play. That for me is the most broken thing in the game, and I commentated a lot of MK11 in my time, whether it was giant combos, guaranteed round wins, obstacles that most characters cannot avoid if they have 1% health left. This move did everything. Now, if you want to see a breakdown of the Skywalk, the move that Mustard thinks is better, Lord Knight actually did a wonderful collab video with Mustard recently. I'll link it in the description. And if you disagree with me here, by all means, let me know in the comments section. I'd love to see what you think. Finally, it's Mortal Kombat 1, our current most recent game, and this time, I'm going to talk about the most broken special move and cameo assist. As the last time I made a video like this, I did have a lot of comments asking me to separate the two. For special moves, again, this was a difficult call because it, for me, was either Raiden's Storm Cell or Kenshi's Sento Stance. And after seriously thinking about it, Sento Stance took the spot as the most broken, and here's why. Sento Stance, like I've said before, breaks so many rules where there are safe, unseeable, full combo 50-50s, block strings that last forever, and the duration of this stance is so long that Kenshi can make a billion mistakes and never truly be unsafe, because the Sento Stance is always there when the opponent stands up. In fact, he can use Sento attacks while blocking, which is another rule breaker right there. Yes, Sento has a downside, where if it isn't available, Kenshi is at disadvantage. But competitive results have shown us that the Sento Stance is usually the deal breaker for a round to go in Kenshi's favor, and more ways to set this up safely are being found every day, where the move on its own is such a problem that the character is in everyone's top 5 because of this move on its own. Sometimes you don't need cameo. Every cameo, for the most part, can set up into it. It truly is a one-size-fits-all special that I can't think of something more broken right now. When it comes to cameo assists, the current most broken assist, in our opinion, is Chameleon's Fan Lift. There are tons of great moves in the game right now, but when we're discussing broken, this move changes so many things for any character that, again, it breaks the rules. Fan Lift can extend combos. That's fine. It can give you a super jump. That's also fine. But what it can also do is make any move at all way harder to punish, or sometimes totally safe on block, removing all risk. It can give every character in the game a truly untechable back throw, as back throw into lift is a little bit of damage regardless of tech or not, and some characters can even turn this into a full combo that again cannot be teched. The fast cooldown of this move means it's always ready, and the sheer amount it can currently do while changing the rules of the game at the same time. For us, this move is currently the most broken of the cameo assists. And that's our list of the most broken special moves in Mortal Kombat history. Let us know what you think, stick around for more MK content to come, and as always, I will see you next time. Take care.